of you are here this weekend because you want to get better at something? Yeah. How many of you are here because you want to get better playing your instrument? How many of you are here because you want to get better at spinning or dancing or tossing? Yeah. How many of you are here because you want to get better at conducting? How many of you are here because you want to become a better teacher? And I hope everybody raises their hand when I say, how many of you are here because you want to be a better leader? What I'm here to do is to say to you, if you want to get better, you're going to have to do something different. Because if you keep doing the exact same thing, no matter how good you are, it's going to stay the same. What we're going to talk about for the next few minutes is change and what it takes to get better. Because it doesn't matter. Like I said, you could be really good at what you do, but if you want to move from good to great, you've got to do something different. If you do the exact same thing, expecting different results, that is the sheer definition of insanity. I heard some of you say it. Why would you do that? You told me you wanted to get better. So I want to talk to you tonight about change. And you know what? It hurts. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes the mere mention of the word makes us shudder a little bit because I don't want to. I don't understand why we have to. We've always done it this way, and we're really good at what we do. Why do we have to change? It makes me angry. I might be a little bit scared. I'm certainly resentful because you're forcing me to change. But tonight I want to talk to you about embracing change. So I'm going to share a little story with you about 4 characters. Now some of you might know my little friends here. Hem, haw, sniff, and scurry. Kind of an odd foursome to become friends, right? Well, hem and haw, every day, they put on those fancy little sneakers and they head out into a maze searching for their favorite cheese. Every day, same thing. And when they get there to Cheese Station C, they enjoy this ridiculous amount of cheese, as you can see, right? Now, when they get there, they are happy as can be, eating all their cheese. Oh, I should tell you, happiness for our friends represents something a little bit different. For Sniff and Scurry, happiness and cheese, one and the same. It's food, it's sustenance, done. For Hem and Haw, it's a little bit different. For Hem and Haw, happiness, or this cheese, it's what they think that they need in order to be happy. Just remember that. So every single day, they go out there looking for their cheese. Well, these 2 characters here, Hem and Haw, they get there to Cheese Station C and they enjoy their cheese. They take their sneakers off. They sit back, they relax, they look around, safe and secure, happy as can be, because having cheese is what makes you happy. Well, Sniff and Scurry, they have better instincts than Hem and Haw. And they get there to Cheese Station C every day, and it's a little bit different. Something's changing. They can smell change in the air. And instead of going back to Cheese Station C over and over and over and over again, they decide, let's go ahead and head out into the maze. See if we can find some new cheese. In the meantime, our good friends Hem and Haw have continued to go back to Cheese Station C. Let's do the same thing. It feels good. It's easy. I know how to get to Cheese Station C. I know there's going to be wait a second. They got there and they noticed that things started to change. And each day it got a little bit worse until eventually one day they got to Cheese Station C and it was gone.
What? No cheese? Who moved my cheese? It's not fair.
What'll happen if the cheese isn't here tomorrow? All my plans are based on the cheese being here.
Hem's and Haw's behavior was not very attractive and kept them from succeeding, but it was understandable. Finding cheese wasn't easy, and it meant a great deal more to them than just having enough of it to eat every day.
While Sniff and Scurry had changed, Hem and Haw continued to, well, hem and haw.
Hem? Where's Sniff and Scurry? Do you think they know something we don't?
Nah, they're just simple mice. We're little people. We're more complex and smarter. We're entitled to our cheese.
Well, we don't seem to be acting smarter at the moment. Sniff and Scurry are probably in the maze looking for new cheese. Maybe we should simply get going and look for some new cheese, too.
No, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I want things to be just the way they were.
Just the way they were. I don't want change. It's so funny because, this is a dire situation here. This is pretty urgent. We are not going to have any cheese left. But I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here. And what I think is funny is that there are some things in life that you are so quick to change. All of us are quick to change. All right, let's think about those things. When you get your schedule, when you go back and school starts, you get that schedule and you see those classes and you realize you have that teacher that you don't like. Okay, right? You want that schedule changed now. You are ready for change. Or those of you who drive, do we have some drivers? Okay, this is mine. And my husband, he lets me have it for this. I cannot stand being in a lane behind a slow car. I know it's dangerous, and I probably shouldn't encourage you to change lanes, but that's all you want to do is change. That change you have no problem with. When it's time to upgrade your phone, you better get that 10. That's a change I want now. When that name brand is no longer in fashion, Mom, I got to have a new pair of shoes. I got to change my hair color. I got to change my clothes. I have to change my underwear, thank goodness. All of those changes we can laugh about because we want them and we want them now. We're okay with it. But these changes, a change like this is epic. This is going to change the trajectory of the success in your life. We tend to be hesitant because we're a little bit scared. And so this dude decides, I'm not dealing with this change. I'm going to stay put right where I am. And what happens to him while he's sitting there waiting for someone to put the cheese back for him? Well, imagine how that story goes. Versus Haw, who was uncomfortable with the change as well, but he decided it was far less scary out in the maze than to stay in this cheeseless situation. So he decided, I'm going to go ahead out in the maze. I'm going to venture out there, I'm going to find some new cheese. Okay? So he heads out there, and he's going, don't get me wrong. Along the way, there were obstacles that he did not expect. There were pitfalls that came up over and over and over again. The challenges were difficult. It was uncomfortable. But ultimately, because he was brave enough to leave, he found the largest, most delicious store of cheese ever. Could you imagine if he wouldn't have put away his discomfort, if he would have stayed there? Let's talk for real for a second. That would have led to his extinction, right? It was because he let himself take that risk. So I would ask you, when you're thinking about opportunities, what would you do if you were not afraid? Because the only difference between what is and what could be for you is change. Change is the key to your success. Now, don't get me wrong. We said this before. It hurts. It's uncomfortable. It does not feel good, my friends. But the reality is, in order for you to flourish, in order for you to prosper, in order for you to get better, which is why we're all here, and ultimately, in order for you to succeed, we must change. So what I want to encourage you to do when you go back, I want you to embrace change. Imagine when your band director, your orchestra director, your choir director, your guard director looks at you and says, we're going to do things a little bit differently. And we all go, oh. Instead, you perk up a little bit. What do we get to do? We're loading the trucks differently? Okay, awesome. We're gonna get on buses differently. We have to sit in different seats. Great, we're gonna do a new warm-up exercise. All right, sign me up for it. Oh, yeah, we used to just be able to do those like audio recordings. You want us to do video? Cool. I'm gonna put on a really cute outfit, right? Whatever it is. Or how about this one? This one's gonna be hard. Seniors, you get back, and for the past 4 years of your high school career, you have looked forward to that thing that in your band program seniors get to do, and your director looks at you and says, nope, we're not doing that anymore. Whew. That's rough. It's rough. But I want you to think about things differently. Is there a way for you to embrace that change? Don't just accept it, embrace it. Maybe even celebrate it. Could you imagine what it would be like if you got together and you sat down to receive this news and your director was telling you about a change that was going to impact your entire program, and that you, as the student leaders, heard about this change and you smiled and you cheered a little, you hugged each other, you high-fived. Everybody would be looking at you, what are you so excited about? You're nudging them going, look at what we get to do. Then all of a sudden the people that are looking at their leaders go, huh, look at what we get to do. All right, sign me up. In that moment, you would change the culture of your program. And you would change your program for good, for better, and for forever. That's a really pretty powerful tool that you have. So I want you to think about a couple of things. I'm going to share a few thoughts with you from this author, Michael Hyatt. Because if our friend, Ha, would have shrunk at his discomfort and his hunger, and he said, oh, I'm so hungry. I just have to stay here. I can't go out there. I'm just gonna, y'all, we already talked about what's gonna happen to him. Extinction. Instead, he let that discomfort drive him to the most delicious, biggest store of cheese ever. Be that brave. Go for it. What's going to happen? You might get better. This is a favorite. And this one's in your packet, thanks to Fran, so you can see it later and be reminded of it. Very, very wise man, Mahatma Gandhi, said to us, to be the change that you wish to see in the world. I hope that you take your responsibility to our world very seriously, and that you realize that you can change this world. And if right now your world is the Music for All Summer Symposium, then you make the change. And if next week it's in concert band, or it's in orchestra, or in the fall it's at a festival, or at a competition, wherever it is, you be brave enough to make that change. It's on you. Will you do one thing for me? Will you repeat after me? I am the agent of change. 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 You have to put that in your heart and carry it with you and believe it. You have the power to make positive and lasting changes. And I hope that you embrace the power that you have. And I'll leave you with one more thought from the king of pop himself. If you want to make the world a better place, you take a look in the mirror and make the change. Thank you so very much.